Okay, just a status update. We don't have any battle yet, but status update. So I continued the game after the Battle of Fort Washington. Lee left Paulus Hook and joined Washington's army with the militia. So they are all in Fort Lee now. I mean the whole American army, and they are pretty much sacked, or in a sack there, I would say. Not sacked, but in a sack. The weather has improved a lot. We had good weather the last turns, so the British fleet has been moving up the Hudson since they can. So they are now spread out throughout the whole Hudson areas here, meaning the Americans cannot get over the water. That's why they could leave Fort Washington unattended, because the Americans cannot go over. So they're just stuck here in Fort Lee. But so the British are now planning to do the last attack to end the game and getting Washington, because this will be a fight to the end, because they cannot retreat. On the other hand, if you look at the situation, we have Clinton coming up with 3 brigades of Germans from this side, which Howe needs in this attack. He cannot do it without those, because he's too weak. These guys need to come from this direction, and they are kind of weak, and they could be counterattacked. So that's why I wanted to you know, see what happens here before we move on to turn 14, because I'm not sure, did I play 13 already or not? I think I did. So let's go to 14 anyway. I mean, this game will end before turn 20. Anyway, so if the Americans go first this time, they might counterattack. This might be the chance to get them go below 20 strength points, and the game would be over, because now they have, just count it pretty quick, 4, 9, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 21, 23 points. So if we get like 4 points more of damage on the British, they are done. So if we could do a nice attack hitting them, they will of course retreat, but then these guys are too weak to get back or attack this fort. Of course, we need to remove some troops that they might attack anyway, but we need I mean, both sides have this temptation now. Washington cannot escape anywhere anymore, but we need to get him. Washington needs to inflict some more damage on the British to make them think it's not worth it, let's quit it here. So both sides are tempted to do a decisive move now. So let's see what we get in the action points first of all. Okay. This actually implies that this was a 1. So roll that even for the British. It's good weather again, and they got 4 action points. Only 1 for the Americans. They got 2 action points. Meaning the Americans will move first, so we could attack here. But that would mean we will take almost everything with us and just attack. We'll leave Fort Lee and attack with the whole army. And I think it's worth it. Maybe this was a bit of a mistake from our side to move here. I wasn't really expecting that when I did the move. So we would need to activate the guys who can move 2. We can attach a leader with them, and in that case move us 2 with that as well, because it's just attached with a leader that go 2. So we can activate the whole army and we can attack here. And I think I'm gonna do that, because if we don't get that result we want, we still are in a fortress, because we're gonna win this battle. That's not the issue here. So let's do it. So the American player will gamble with doing the last counterattack here. So I'm going to set up this battle and let's see how that goes. Okay, a really strange battle is taking place here. We have Clinton in defense on the left flank. There's one brigade of Germans in each section here. These guys will, of course, remove one die from the first attack, so there's going to be a lot of units that won't roll the first turn. So, I mean, even if it's so overwhelming with the American units here, it's not a safe attack anyway. We'll see how it goes, but as you can see, Green and Washington are leading from the right-hand flank together with strong artillery, a real weak regular infantry brigade there. In the center we have Lee with a weak artillery, some militia, both Pennsylvanian and Connecticut militia, and one brigade of regulars. And on the left, no leadership here, but we have 3 brigades of militia, 1 regular infantry, and 1 strong battery or regiment of artillery there. So we see how that goes. So we start with the Germans. So we roll 2 dice. Remember, they scare away militia also with a 2, not only 1. So they scared away 1. So let's take one of the Connecticut militia away. Here, 2 more dice. Here we have another one scared away. And here we got first 2 dice from the Germans. Scared away a militia. We don't have any militia, so that's nothing really. But we're going to roll 1 more dice with Clinton. Now, no hits. So there were no hits inflicted, but some militia did run away. So here, no die from this unit and no from this unit. Here we have 1 die from the Pennsylvania militia. Nothing. Then we have artillery, 3 dice. They fire with full strength. Gonna reroll that. That's 2 hits, and we got a break in the line. So what happens now is these guys will immediately retreat, but now we do retreat fire with the infantry, but with full dice. So you're gonna roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dice. So here comes the first 4. No hits. Second 4. No hits. And 1 additional. No hits. Okay, so amazingly, these guys got away. I thought they're gonna get killed, but they didn't. So Clinton need to retreat now. And he could go to Bergen, or he could go back to New York City, which he will do. This sucks for the British. So let's see now. So we have these guys now in in Paulus Hook. So how many points do we have left now? 4, 5, 9, 14, 19, 20, 21. They're still in the game, but oh man, I don't know how this will go. How many do these guys have left? 4, 7, still a lot of more than 10, so they are in the game. So I guess we're going to continue because we have the British still to move. So I'll get back when we see some interesting situation happening again. We are at turn 15. We will see the last battle of the game. I mean, the British really don't want to attack, but if they don't and wait out to turn 20, they will lose the game because they haven't inflicted enough damage, and they will not get Washington himself captured because he's now sitting in Paulus Hook, the fortification there, just waiting. So he can wait out the game and the Americans will win that by that. So the British need to attack, try to either kill Washington or get the guys below 10 strength points and not themselves get pretty much, they can take maybe 1 damage Otherwise, they will lose the game because they will drop below 20. So I think the British will lose the game, but it's an even fight. So let's see what happens, because the Americans will do nothing and the British will now do 2 actions. Heister will activate the whole bunch, taking Howe with him, and these guys with Clinton will do an amphibious landing towards these guys and attack as well. So they will roll no dice in the first battle, but they can absorb some hits at least. But on the other hand, they cannot afford to take any hits, so it doesn't matter. But I'm gonna set up this last battle of the game. Let's see how it ends. Here are the battle lines for the last battle of this game, the second battle of Paulus Hook. So the American defense is, well, not solid, but in this stage of the game I think it is. So we have a strong infantry line on the left, led by Lee. In the center we have more weaks. We have weak infantry, but we have also weak artillery there. And then Greene and Washington are located in the center. And then on the right-hand side, maybe that's where they try to win the battle by placing their 2 strongest artillery units there, together with some weaker infantry, just to absorbing losses for the artillery. So if these guys can roll good, we might get a hole in that line, and then the game is certainly over. So the British then, Howe is leading from the right-hand side, having one of the Cornwallis brigades here. We are seeing Clinton coming from the water, together with Donoff's brigade. So they will, these guys will not fire a single die in the first battle. As you can see, all the Germans will not fire because they get -2, 1 for the fort and 1 for doing amphibious. So no fire from these guys turn 1 at all. They can just absorb some hits. In the center, the British have their strong artillery section, so 2 full-strength regiments and a good strength infantry there to absorb losses for those. But anyway, the game will end if you take too much losses anyway. So, and here we have a really weak one. Of course, these guys can absorb losses, but we have some weakened artillery, and then Heister here who can absorb some losses, but doesn't really look good for the British, to be honest. But let's see how that goes. So we start with firing from here. That the militia will fire the first volley. We get 4 dice together, and already we have 2 hits. So 1 more British brigade. Hold on, we'll leave that, and we take actually these guys away, so I can fire the first round, at least with 1 die. Then we have 2 dice from the regular, nothing, and then 1 more for Lee himself, nothing. Here then, 2 dice from the militia and 2 dice from the leaders, so I'm gonna roll 4 dice. Another hit, taking a hit here, or no, let's take that German unit. Then we have 1 die of artillery to do, nothing. Here then, 3 dice of regular fire, 2 hits. Oh my, so Losberg's brigade is eliminated. That was a tough landing. And then we have even 6 dice of artillery still to do. And that's another hit, so the artillery takes a hit. And then 3 more dice, but nothing. The British have pretty much lost the game already, but I'm gonna play out this battle anyway. I think you're gonna do that, and then you check in the beginning of the turn of the strength points. So I think you should play this, because also these guys could inflict a lot of losses now. So let's see what happens. I mean, even Washington could be potentially a loss here, but let's see. So these guys will get 1 die. Oops. And they hit. So let's take away one of the Connecticut militias. And here we got 2 dice. Nothing. Then we got some artillery fire, full strength. First 3 dice. Nothing. Bad roll. Second hit. Another Connecticut militia goes away. That's it. Then we have nothing here and 1 die from the artillery. They hit. Pennsylvanians take the hit. And that was the first round of combat. Question comes now to the Americans. Do they want to defend? Or do they want to retreat? I think I could retreat because I will now, as the American player, win the game because we only have 2, 3, 4, 10, 13, 14, 15 strength points, which is too little, so the British will actually withdraw from this campaign. So I don't want any more. I don't want to risk to have any break in my line, so I'm gonna retreat, giving the British the retreat fire to do. So they fire with 1, 2 dice. They only have 2 infantry units left. Can you believe that? They missed. So these guys will now retreat to Bergen. That's the only place they can retreat. They cannot go over the water, and they cannot go to Hopcock because that's where Howan and Heister were attacking from. So they would retreat here. So they will give up Paulus Hook, but the British are just too weak and too exhausted to pursue. So Washington and his remnants of his army will now move out towards Pennsylvania from New Jersey. They're of course giving up New York City, but they have inflicted the wanted losses on the British. This is really hard. But they're now going back towards Pennsylvania, and they will eventually go to Philadelphia. And during the winter, we have another campaign coming, when Washington is crossing the Delaware with the famous battle or more action of Trenton and then Princeton. And there's actually a sister game to this depicting those events, so I might play that pretty soon as well. Those battles took place around, I think, like Christmas, New Year there somewhere, so maybe I'll do the game there just to commemorate the happenings that happened during the shift of the year 1776, 1777, along the Delaware River. But we'll see about that later on. But so quite fun game, interesting situation. I mean, okay, we didn't play all full 20 turns, but I'm not sure. I played pretty aggressively with both sides, I feel, but I think, well, the British need to. I mean, they need to attack, and the Americans will, of course, wait in good positions for them. And bite back when they can, which I did in Harlem Village. Remember the counterattack? That was kind of successful. They took heavy losses. The problem then was that the British got a back-to-back new move, so they could regroup and counterattack Harlem Village, and that really hurt Washington and his army. He got a lot of losses. They are now down to, let's count them as well. So 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 17, 18 points. So British 15 and American 18 points. And if you think that the Americans are stronger in the beginning, they had taken more losses, but British have taken, of course, more valuable losses. All regulars, all German mercenaries are just out of action. So, yeah. for sure a British loss in this campaign, even though they took New York City and got Washington running, but the price was too high. So now we need to wait more troops coming from England, which they don't have. So yeah, it's hard. Maybe he needs to start recruiting loyalists now to his cause. I'm not sure about the Trenton and Princeton campaigns, if there are any loyalists there. Probably not. I would think so, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, we'll see when we get. I don't have much clue of how that game looks like or works, so we're gonna see when we play that. But anyway, back to this one. So I enjoyed it. It was cool. I was maybe anticipating some action over here towards the White Plains, but they were not necessary to defend White Plains for the Americans, because there wasn't that many Connecticut militia left. We have one here, you know, after now. So, I mean, if they had, I think we had 3 strength points of Connecticut militia left in the last like 6 turns or something. So okay, if the British would have moved something there, we might have lost 3 points eventually. Not a catastrophe maybe, but of course every point was important in the end, so who knows. But on the other hand, those British units would have need to move over there and maybe not get the time to get back for an attack, so they would have lost them anyway, in kind of or evened out the loss of the Connecticut's militia. So I'm not sure if it would be worth it. Maybe in another game when the Connecticut militia didn't get that much damage, it would be interesting to take White Plains for the British player to start seeing them deserting. Okay, I think that's it for this game. So I hope you did enjoy it. I certainly did. So I want to explore this system more. So I probably will get back to Trenton. I think it's named Trenton 1776 because that's on the 76 side the action took place probably. Okay, thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one. Bye for now.